Double Talk 73 here again. Today is the first day for Bolivia to be live. And a couple of my buddies have found a great spot for catfish. And they pay excellent XP and money. I want you to look at this. This is just what I've caught in the catfish line. Looky here. Now, this one, this was the last one I caught for my dog wanted to go outside and I shut everything down. A uni red-tailed catfish, 161 pounds, and that's not the biggest. My biggest here when I was testing is 174 pounds, but it's 16,740 XP, $17,164. That is some serious money and XP. Now, I'm going to show you where it is. Here's a boat dock. You just drive over here, and there's a point, an island there where you can get off, and it's right straight out there. Park anywhere, walk along the shore here anywhere, set up your rod stand, which mine's gone now, so I have to set it up again. So let me move up here just a little bit. Okay. Set up my rod stand. Well, according to that, it's still here. Where am it? Oh, there it is. That's my rod stand. It hid from me, didn't it? Let's see. Let's put shift 2, shift 3. There we go. And I'll show you where we're going to. Why are we not alive? It says we are, but apparently we are not. It says we're streaming, but not according to what's going on up here. Because I have a timer that says when I'm streaming and what's going on. And it's supposed to say on there that I've gone live. So what is going on? Tell you what let's do. Let's close it down and start that part over again. There we go. Now it says I'm live. But I'm still supposed to have a number counting my time here. So I'm going to shut this part down and open it back up. And hopefully it'll come back on the way it's supposed to. We'll find out in a minute. Appreciate your patience. There we go. Thank you. Computers. Aren't they wonderful when they work right? Okay. Now, back to our fishing. You see the markers out here? They are anywhere from 125 to 140 feet out. And that's about it. Using bottom rods. You don't even know what rod I got out there. I think it's 3. We'll go with that. There's 2. And you can clip your lines and go out there. sunny morning. Fished here for till 8:30, from about 5:30 to 8:30, because I was fishing over at another place first. Then I came over here. Mike and Big Boy were already here, and Zandra and her daddy, they were already here. They were already catching fish. And I was catching little fish, which was just all they were doing was eating my bait. So I put a 9-aught hook on there. And then I started catching mostly big fish. And that's when I caught that big red tail. And I was farming in California, and I come down here to see how Mike and them were doing. Now, as far as where I'm aiming, you're not going to have a marker. But see this part here? During the day, there's water. There's a waterway that goes right back in here. I'm aiming right at the middle of that waterway. If you're standing over here or standing down here and you put your rod stand down, aim at that waterway, or that just to the left, that hump of mountain there. And hopefully you'll catch some big fish too. See, I've only got a little over 50 pounds to fill my net here. And I apologize for not starting this stream sooner. Here we go. See what? This is what you call nice. This one's set at 143 feet. And I'll show you what the alder's set at momentarily. But they nibble at it with this big hook, because the little ones will nibble at it, but they won't bite it. Look at there, 119 pound. That's a nice one. They're big. The gildeds are big. The gilded catfish. There's some big fish here. And they bite with a little more regularity. Now you can put a smaller hook on and you can catch a lot of fish, but I'm using huge cut bait. Like I said, a 9-aught hook. I had a 6-aught hook on there, and I caught little catfish, little flat whisker, silver croakers, but my baits are costing about $250 a piece, so that's actually $260, I think it is. But anyhow, that's not. You just need a bigger truck. You're catching fish that are worth more than what your bait you're using. That's just not a good idea. So you see, little fish nibble at it, the big fish take it. And that big catfish, that big red tail, I had to walk that way along the bank as far as I could go to try to keep it even close. The closest I got it at first was 89 feet, and then it decided to take off. And I've only got 350 feet of line. It was this pole, and it got out to 230 something feet, and I thought, oh mercy, it's going to spool me. And then it decided to weaken down. I just, like I do, I hold my rod up, and when the reel comes down off of the red, off the max, that's when I start reeling. And if you keep on reeling while it's up in the red, while it's pulling, all you're going to do is you just allow it to keep pulling out more and more line. So just see it goes down. Now I start reeling. It's going to be a decent fish. This should be a trophy or a decent gilded. But this will fill my net. Then we'll see what the morning looks like. And you'll be able to see where I'm fishing. Not just What we got here? There it is. 48-pound gilded. But still, look at that. $2,800 and $1,100. See how far I've gone? I was about right here when I started here from farming sturgeon. And this is just one day. Now, it's longer time-wise, but the fish are a lot bigger. So, let's see what our morning's going to look like. To where we want to go. That should be good. That should be good. We can probably fish there till 10:30, 11 o'clock anyhow. And then go to 2 o'clock in the morning. So let's do that. Oops. Forgot I got other rods out. Can't do stuff with rods out. No matter how hard I try. That must have had a fish on because it went that way. Bite timed out. I've had to decide several times now whether I wanted to stick with the fish I had on the big one or pick up the rod and go for the little one. And I've decided that I want to stick with the one that I had, the big one I had that I was working with. Okay, I need to put some line on here too. That'll be okay for a while. Those will be okay for a while. That one needs line. 0.011, yeah, 0.011. 0.011. Let me put this one on there. Put it all on there. And that with the yellow, we'll get rid of it. Ooh, $138. And we probably might ought to put some new leaders on here. 0.014. Because a leader is the weakest point of the whole thing. It's not the one I wanted to get rid of that one. Or I'll just grab it again. Line looks good. Oh, the leader looks good there. The pole looks a little weak. Yeah, that leader will be okay. Yeah, I change it while I'm here. Right. Change it while I'm here. Change it while I'm here. Better safe than sorry. I lost one already because my leader broke. That line looks a little suspect too. These big fish work on it. I tell you. There it is. Get rid of that one. Okay. So now we can go fishing and go to tomorrow morning. And you'll be able to see where I'm fishing. Not bad. But look at that. That's what's cool. That's what I'm after. Okay, see? See, that's a branch that goes back in through there. And you can stand anywhere along here and aim at that same point. Now let me take this one set at 127. That's a little short. $129. I guess it wasn't. At least for that one anyhow. And these come, when they start, they come just as hectic as they did with the sturgeon. But there again, you've got to choose which ones you want to keep. I caught one a while ago. I had a bad, I was reeling it in, and then I lost the fish due to line tension, and it was out there about 60 feet, and believe it or not, I caught another fish on it while I was there. I guess the fish spit out the bait, which is, I didn't know they'd do that, but But it did, so I caught another one in a little while. See, that one's out there a little further. So anywhere from about 120 feet to about 140 something feet. And like you do on other places, you can keep an eye on the spring rings. See how number 4 came up and then went down? Number 1's doing the same thing. When that spring ring comes up and locks up and you get about 3 or 4 flashes on it, you've got a fish. Like I say, it's a little slower with a larger hook, but you'll catch bigger fish. At least that's what I've found so far. Okay, time to get started. Okay, 3's on. Ripsaw. A ripsaw. Catfish. Nope, flat whisker. Went down. See, didn't lose much. Lost 15 bucks by catching that fish, roughly. But it'll come back. P, 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 P. Practice, patience, persistent will produce. Let me give you a GPS location here. So when you get down here, you can stick your unique red, 144 pounds. GPS 25.22 plus 147.16. Write that down and you'll have a location for that marker. That's late evening. That's also early morning. That's what they had large minnows. If you don't have or can't afford the huge cut bait or aren't high enough level to get it, you can use large minnows. Here you go. How's that? Let's see what the other one shows. It shows large minnows also. But I'm using large cut bait, or huge cut bait, I think it's called. But they play with it, play with it, play with it, and they bite it. Number 1. Okay. And I've just been fighting a fish like this and get other fish on, and I've just had to let them go because, see there, it's maxed out. I can't get any stronger on the line. I can't go any more drag. If I do, he'll break the leader. This is a good fish, so if any of my other lines get a fish on, I'll test and see what they are. If they're big like this, I'll play both of them. But if they're small ones, I just let it go. Sometimes when I can put a parallel to the water like that, I can get just a little bit of, not this time. When I was fighting that other fish, I lost 3 other fish on the other poles. Strike timed out. But that's okay. Like I said, that fish was 16,000 XP, $17,000. And that's what I'm fishing for. I'm fishing for XP. If you buy the DLC and come down here, you can fish for money or XP. The DLC is not a bad price, really. $30, 29 and change, which is pretty decent. But that auto scroll just does not want to work consistently. And Z and her daddy is Knight 63. They've been down here all day fishing too. I don't know if Mike's still here or not. I hadn't seen him catch any fish. But they're trying to level up. Because you've only got a 7-day pond pass and premium here. So if you fish your 7 days here catching catfish, you should level up pretty good. Hey, big boy. Hello, all. You is all. You is it. I got another one, a big one that wants to run me down the bank. Looks like a big boy. Here we go. It stops. I thought it was going to go right like that other big red tail. Yellowtail's a tuna. Well, viewers, it looks like you tuned in at the right time. I don't know how big this is, but it's a nice fish. I do believe. I tell you, big boy there was catching a bunch of unis. I noticed on the marker, big boy, that y'all were using large minnows instead of huge cut. I don't remember what level you have to be to buy the huge cut bait. But anybody gets anywhere close to here ought to have large minnows. They like this huge cut. Keep saying large. It's huge. Looks like it weighs 5 pounds. That's funny. I had 2 viewers watching me fighting this big fish and left. I would think if you come in and for that long to watch what's going on, you'd want to see what the fish was if you're interested in this game. That's okay. We're about to find out. There you go. Come on back. We're still here. Z still fishing. Knight still fishing. I think Mike, he might be having to do some work because I haven't seen him catch anything. His equipment and everything's still here. This don't really want to come in. You're like that 163 pounder. I've been fighting this thing over 30 game minutes. We're getting there. Do my little trick here. Tap, 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 tap. That's tapping that right mouse button. Here we go. Look at that. 8,000, 7,000. Yes, sir. Okay, get back over here now. Get back over where I belong. Let's go with 1. Come on. What's going on? Oh, that's 2. No wonder. Has a big difference when you're trying to pick up. Oh, come on. Come on. Get up there. Get up there. Almost lost that one. He was about to say low line tension. There's big boy back. Wish that chat would stay working all the time. the auto scroll. It's another nice fish. Not as big as that last one, I don't think, but another nice fish. Anytime it wants to peg out my reel, and I got my rod and my line pegged out. Once you look at that line already. These big fish work on the line. They're working on the line, they're working on the leader too. Big boy will have him another. He'll have him a big one here in a minute. See, I can make more XP faster by farming sturgeon in California, but this is a whole lot more fun. Looky there, looky there. A new personal best. All right. Gotta let that other fish that's over there hang and let her go. Thank you, big fish. Look at that, 13,000, 14,000 XP. Whew, that's some XP. Let's get her back out there and catch another one. I think that was number 3 that timed out. Well, there's an easier way to put those rods back down in that holder. That's number 1. I hit when it gets cast out there, hit a shift 1 and it'll put it down in there by itself. Pick it up, just click on 3, bring it in, reset it, do the same thing. Shift 3, you put it right in there for me. Look at that crazy thing. Where am I at? I'm all the way to the top. How'd I get to the top? So the first fish he catches is a uni. Well, the first fish I caught was a uni too, but I think that's interesting. I keep wanting to hit the tab button like the old chap. Nibble, nibble, nibble. Nibble, don't nibble. Take it and run. Take it and run. See, big boy just caught a fish and it did not scroll. See, that's what hurts. Those silver, of course, he's using large minnows, but those silver croakers, they don't hardly pay anything unless they are trophy or unis. The uni will pay around $400. So at my $260 bait, I gotta have a trophy or uni if I catch a croaker. At least we're not catching piranha out here. Hey Z, I see you still fishing. Siri, I didn't say anything. That's the difference in a big hook. The little fish Don't seem to hit it. Because I did catch that one flat whisker. And I have caught a couple of croakers. But not like when I had a 6/0 hook on, and I was catching too many of them. Too many. Of course, anything's better than nothing, but when it costs you bait, the fish is worth less than your bait. You're getting the XP, but and we're going to put this one down. This is not a huge fish. Pick up number 2. And we got one on 3. No. Shift 2, 4. Shift 4, 2. I'm trying to tell you what I'm doing with my fingers, since you can't see them, and you wonder what I'm doing. Okay, Shift 2, 4. Shift 4, 2. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Yes, you are right, Maul. Shift 2, 4. Where do you see the XP and the money these things bring in? Especially the XP. Come on. Use my little trick there, tapping that right mouse button. There we go. Look at the XP on 50-pound fish. And I lost one on 2 because I brought this one on in. Could have brought them both in, I think. You can't win every time. Cool. I bet it was fun. Using mostly spinners, small spinners. I think that's probably what I would have tried. 1/8 ounce, 1/16 ounce. There you go. Grind them sturgeon. That'll get you here. Just take you a while. That's what I was doing this morning. And then once they release Bolivia, those of us that are testers, they give us the DLC for here as a way of saying thank you. So I got my DLC and I come down here, but I've only got a 7-day pond pass, like if you get the DLC, and 7-day premium. So I gotta get up to 63 in those 7 days, just like y'all. Or I'm back up there grinding sturgeon, and that's what I'll be doing. So I'm gonna try and get as close. I might be 61 if I can get some more fish cooperate here. You know what's funny is it says that guy Club Uni Osimoni. Okay. We got 2 of them or just 1? Nope. 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 1. Small fish. As it goes. It'll be worth more than my bait, but it's a small fish. 1/16 ounce. Spinner spoons. May fly today. Yeah. That's worth it. Ooh, looky there. Bigger than I thought it was going to be. This rod I'm using, this number 1 spot, is one of the rods that comes with the DLC. But when I was farming sturgeon, I kept losing sturgeon with that rod due to low line tension. That's pretty cool. If you get bored, go to Texas. Use it. Your spot bass will pay more than a crappie, I think. And it doesn't cost you nothing to travel, or just go ahead and buy Texas with your coins. Then you don't have to worry about the license extended or the advanced license every time you go there, so you can keep the spotted bass. And you just go around the waterway, go around the edge, and see how many spotted bass you can buy. Okay, we're going to try to get both these in. 3 and 1. Yep, that's a better fish. Bring it a little bit. Shift 1, 3. Bring it a little bit. Shift 3, 1. Come on. See how that rod straightened out? Usually when that rod straightens out is when you're going to get that fish lost due to low line tension. Shift 1, 3. Shift 3, 1. Now if I get another bite on another rod, I'm going to let it go. I'll work on these two. Because that's where I get shift 1, 3. That's where I wind up losing fish. Shift 3, 1. So I'm getting one on 4 and one on, just let it go. Shift 1, 3. Oh, see one straightening out there? Shift 3, 1. Get back on as soon as I can. Down bent. Good, 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 good. Shift 1, 3. Bring it a little bit, change. Black Plague says when he's working with carp like this, he does 5 seconds. Picks one up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shift 1, 3. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Shift 3, 1. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Shift 1, 3. But he said he was losing a lot of fish off of a rod stand too, and he was getting upset about it because he was fixing to do a carp tournament where they could use the rod stand, and you losing fish in a tournament, it can mean the difference whether win or lose the tournament. We'll bring this on in now. Here we go. Come on, one. One's a bigger fish, I believe. I do believe. I just wanting to take line. Where it was. I don't want to come out of this jogging suit top here in a minute. Really? I see a lot of guys, Europeans, that fish that way. Put it 90 degrees to the water. I just thought that was just unique to them. First time I saw a guy at in Netherlands fishing. That's where he was. And that's interesting. I might have to give that a try. Are you, Maul, do you fish on a PC or is it Xbox or a PS4? Which system do you use? Okay. I don't know how to make the rod stand go up. I've just always used it the way it came. What key do I use to raise the rod stand? So you can teach me something. How's that? And believe me, I'll try putting it 90 degrees. I'll try anything to keep from losing fish, especially with a sturgeon. I was losing, I guess, close to 25% of the fish I was hooking up, I was losing. This is mine, though. Here it is. Yes, sir. What do we got? What do we got? There you go. Love it. See, this is worth more XP than it is money. Now, see, there we go again with the 2. Okay, that's what I'll do. Thank you. So I've never done that. So thank you for telling me. Well, that's my scroll key on the mouse, but it's not doing anything. Let's try this. It's not going up. At least not that I can tell. There, oh, it's going the wrong way. I was scrolling forward, I scroll back. So you didn't tell me that part. Okay, let's see what happens here. Yeah, I still use my methods. 4, 3. I can put it in rod stand from over there. 2. Well, if this works, Oya, one of the developers, came and watched my stream while I was in California. It's the first time I ever had a developer, one of the developers come and watch my stream just to see what was going on. And of course, she said, you know, you've got a good bite rate, which that's true. But I was losing fish, and she said, I can't, she's going to have to look at that. want to stay on. It makes sense to me. Two. See, now I got to fish this way too, so I can watch the other rods. And I'll tell you, I've got to come out of this jacket. It is just too warm. Ah. That one's headed for the hills. That's a nice fish, I do believe. Time to go for a walk. Let's come back around a little bit. If you like catching big catfish, this is the place to be. They're bigger here than they are in St. Croix, that's for sure. And I used to love to fish catfish there. Okay, now let's go for a walk. See, this is where it's not like real life. The closer I get to the fish, the further away it is. That's not the way it's supposed to happen. I'm hung up on a rock or something here. I gained a little bit, I guess. Or at least I had fun exercise, walk a little bit. I will give this suggestion, Maul, to Black Plague too. He may appreciate that as well. Wow. Oops, sorry about that. I know that was probably loud. This is one of them nice fish again. Glad I got 500 feet of line on here. Wow. It's going to be another one of them big red tails. I believe. This one I wish I was in my boat. It pulled me all over the lake, but I couldn't fish with a rod stand. See, that would be cool. Put the rod stand on land and sit right beside it in the boat. And when you hook a big fish like this, pick up your rod off the rod stand while you're in the boat and let it pull you around. Go off for a Missouri boat ride. Stay tired, fish. Stay tired, fish. Ah, don't do that. Stay tired. Stay tired. Stay tired. Tap that right mouse button. Sometimes that helps bring them in. Sometimes it don't. When it maxes out the drag on a reel, it ain't gonna go nowhere, is it? Stop milking it. They watched me fight that 163 pounder a while ago. Mike hollered, "Fight! Fight, DB, fight!" I didn't want to let go and say I am. least we're back under 250 feet. Knight, are you and Z watching this stream while you're fishing to see just what's going on here? This fish do not want to come in. Does not want to come in. My education is shortly lacking too. That's what I get for being a Missouri hillbilly. Yeah, and your dad said, fight. Quit milking it. You don't want to come in, Z. You see it. Tell him, said, I am fighting it. With a little bit of knowledge that I have. See, I lost one. I don't care. If I have to reset them all, this is the fish I want. See if I go any higher. Nope, that didn't help either. Give me a little bit more pressure with the rod. We're going to get under 100 here if I'm lucky. If I cross my fingers right. Oh, y'all, for whatever's worth too, if you purchase the Rainforest or Tropical Hunter Forest, whatever the DLC is down here, along with that also comes with one, if you don't like the name you've got, the game name, you can change it one time for free. But then after that, it costs you 160. They're all losing. I'm losing them all because of low line tension. That's funny. Now you see that, Maul? Of course, I'm not picking the rod up and catching them. But they all got off on low line tension because there wasn't nobody reeling nothing in. That's kind of expected, isn't it? Hello, killer. What we got here? There we go. There we go. Look at that. $17,000, 16,000 XP. That's just totally awesome. Totally awesome. I'm back there somewhere. Here's what I'd like to do. Y'all look at my fish. Hey, look at my fish. You're not looking at my fish. Look at my fish. I'm going to slap you with my fish. Boom. I'll slap you with my fish. Got behind the rock. Okay, let's put it in the campfire and let's have some fish for supper. What do you think? I'm sorry. I said I had to grow old, and they never said I had to grow up. Okay, where's my rod stand now? There it is. Okay, everything's messed up, isn't it? I lost something on every one of them. Yep, stay on the uni. Crazy. That time not only did it not work, it went all the way to the top. Yeah, this when I finally get back to farming sturgeon, I'll give this a serious try. That's when it'll. That's when the proof will be in the pudding. But I don't understand that auto scroll going back all the way to the top. That's scrolling backwards. And that'll be all right. Now we wait and start again. That's the thing about catfishing, y'all. It's not a hurry up. It's just a wait. So I've been fishing for almost 3 hours game time. I got 639 pounds. But the XP is pretty good. Now, if I was fishing, farming for sturgeon, I'd have a lot more. Excuse me. I'd have a lot more XP and money, but wouldn't have as much fun. Not near as much fun, or as good a company, because probably the viewers that are watching would not be there, maybe one or two, and y'all might be there or not. My stream is so small, I don't know what that means. Oh, I don't have it set up for full screen. The reason is my eyes are bad, and if I put it out there with the other 3 inches I've got on each, 3 or 4 inches I've got on each side of my screen, it's hard for my eyes to cover the whole area. That's why it's small. I just don't have it set for full screen. That's just the way I do it. I do. You can only do with what you got. And the good Lord will bless you in other ways. I have a birth defect called ocular albinism. Somewhere way back in my family tree, 2 albinos got married. And we can trace it back. I know it's either 10 or 11 generations because they talk about it's the eldest child, eldest boy, born of female every other generation. And the reason we can trace it back is because I have real bad astigmatism. My eyes dance a lot. And the more excited I get, the more they dance. But there's notations in the Bibles about the boy with the dancing eyes because astigmatism wasn't not a whole lot of people knew about it way back when. But anyhow, I have the nystagmus. I have poor visual acuity. I'm monovisual. I look out of one eye or the other. I can't look out of both eyes at the same time. Amblyopia, my eyeball is shaped this way instead of round. It's oblong. And the worst part about it, I've only got about 30% of the macula, which is when the image comes through your lens, that's where it's focused. The image is focused on the back of your eye is the macula. And mine, not all of it's there. So it wouldn't do me any good to have LASIK or LASIK surgery or RK or any of that stuff. It wouldn't do any good. You can't make what's not there suddenly appear. But like I said, God takes care of you. I have tinnitus now from working in a factory around loud machinery and not protecting my ears like I knew I should have. So I hear hiss. Sounds like 7-year locusts, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But when I was young, my hearing made up for my eyes. We play hide and go seek at night out in the woods, and if I played with you 2 or 3 times, I could tell who you were by the way you breathed. I could listen to your breathing. And you couldn't hide from it because you had to breathe. And I'd just walk around a little bit and I could pick you up and spot you by listening for your breath. So God takes care of all of us creatures in His own way. Whether we want Him to or whether we expect Him to, He does. And I've offered to be a mentor. There's an organization out in California called Vision for Children. And it's for children that have a lot of different eye deformities. And a lot of them have ocular albinism. And I've offered to be a mentor for any child in my area. A lot of times the parents don't know what that child, oh, there's a nice one. Way to go, Z. What the child is going to go through at school or out on the playground or, just exactly. The parents just don't know because it hasn't affected them or they haven't had to deal with it. And it's usually, you can tell it when a baby, see, I've been wearing glasses since I was 3 years old. It's just part of me. And I was a kid with a Coca-Cola bottle on glasses. And kids are cruel. They're real cruel. And they'd tease me and tease me and tease, which made me part of what I am. I had to be stronger, faster, throw the ball harder, hit it further, jump higher, in order for me to feel like I was equal. So did it make me a better person? I don't know. Would I have been a better person without the birth defect? I don't know. That's like that doctor's diagnosis, GOK, when they examine a baby. Babies can't tell you what's wrong. A lot of times the doctor's diagnosis, they'll write GOK, which God only knows. But I'm alive. Got a wonderful family, a beautiful, loving, wonderful wife. Decent kids. My boys are fine. I have 5 grandsons and I have 5 great-grandchildren, so I feel like I've really been blessed. But all in all, your life's what you make of it. What is that old saying? It said, if you're given grapes, make grape juice, and if you're given lemons, make lemonade. That's all you can do. See, that's even a small fish. Still worth more than my bait. I'm trying to decide whether to stay up tonight until I level up. If I catch some more than big red tails or gilded, that just might be the thing to do. I let the sun get to me today. I've got a 0-turn mower, and you really can't get too close to stuff with it. Along a fence, around trees, and whatever. I try not to. So I went out today with I bought 2 containers of Roundup and went out there. It comes with an electric sprayer, battery operated, but it's kind of a joke. And I've got a pump sprayer. So I went out there for a while with that battery operated thing, and I probably spit more than what it puts out. But whatever. It was free with the jug, so I used it, tried it. And then I said, this is ridiculous. So I went back in, got my pump sprayer, got in the driveway and put it up on top of the garbage can, filled it up, and went around. And I was out there hour and a half, I guess, spraying along the fence row, around trees, telephone pole, along the edge of the house. I've got a school bus out in the backyard I store stuff in. I could buy it cheaper than I could buy a storage building. Plus, it didn't make my insurance go up on the house, so I bought a school bus. And come on, fish, quit nibbling. I went along the school bus so I could mow without having to get right up next to it. And around the air conditioner pad unit. And creases in the driveway and cracks in the asphalt out in the road where the grass is starting to grow through there. So I was there about an hour and a half. I didn't realize at 90 degrees and a 87% humidity, buddy, it'll take it out of it, because I wasn't doing, just walking. The hardest thing I was doing, carrying that little pump sprayer, and it don't weigh that much. But it wore me. I ain't as young as I used to be, although up here I think I am. My wife tells me that a lot. Said, you're not 30 years old anymore. I said, yes, dear, I know. You keep trying to think you are. Yes, dear, I know. See, we've been married, this coming June will be 46 years. 47. Better get that right. And I learned a long, long time ago. When she's wrong, she's right. And when she's right, she's right. What's hers is hers, and what's mine is hers. So we get along just fine. But I do wear the pants in this family. She said I could say that. Oh, mercy. Come on, fish. I was planning on fishing here till about 11 o'clock. You're not doing me much good here after 8. I'm ready to go on till 2 o'clock in the morning. I want to catch some fish. Like the little rascals, guy used to run, yum, yum, eat 'em up. I want to eat 'em up. Excuse me. Now, normally, I've been told that that's not necessarily sleep, that you're sleepy. Now, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. But your brain needs more oxygen. Well, in this case, I think it means I'm sleepy. We'll see if that one. Nope, ain't gonna wait on you. See, now the problem with doing what I'm doing this way, it's gonna make me use coins eventually. Ooh, pretty full moon. That's pretty. See, now this is like what I like about this method. See, now I can hit Shift 1 and then put that in that rod stand holder, and I can't even see it. Same deal. Shift 2 and pick up 3. Now be alright as long as I don't get them confused when I try to fight more than 1 or 2 fish. I tell you, with that moon, it is dark. Man, it's dark. Yep. But now, so this is like Pike Alley. See the people here? Find a good spot. People come with you. You're going to hook up 3? Come on. When you get a chance to purchase a rod stand with the alarms like this, learn the colors of your positions. It'll make things a whole lot easier. See, like now I can fish in total darkness, and I know the colors. Most of the time I know the colors. I know that's 2. 2 is true blue. 3 is red on the head. Lock this chair. There we go. This is the way I like to fish. This is the way I like to hunt too. When I used to hunt, there was a wildlife management area around an Air Force base where they do wind tunnel testing. It's called Arnold Engineering Development Corporation. It's over near Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And there's a lot of deer there. Of course, the military, they turn them loose for their enlisted and officers to hunt. But anyhow, there's a lot of deer there. And they have a quota hunt. I mean, they pick 200 names. You apply, and if you're lucky, you'll get to fish, or get picked to go on the hunt. Well, I was lucky. I mean, I know there's 1,000 or more people apply for those every time, and every time I put one in for one, I got one. So I'm over there one day, and it's really on a bow hunt, and it's late August, early September, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous day. You know, it was cold in the morning, cool in the morning, foggy. So that afternoon, it's about 80 degrees, and just, well, I say afternoon, probably 11:30. The deer had stopped moving, and we got another nice fish. And I come down out of my tree stand and found me a nice, comfortable spot on the ground underneath a good-sized pine tree. Leaned back up against that pine tree, and it wasn't too long for I was asleep. The sun shining on me. Oh, it felt so good. So I'm laying there asleep. Now, there's hogs over there, too. So I'm laying there with the... Now, I just told you a fib. It was not a bow hunt. It was a shotgun hunt. Sorry about that. Because I have my shotgun laid across the thighs of my legs. But anyhow, I laid there. I was leaned up against that tree and laying there, just sound asleep. And I felt something pulling on my toe of my boot. And all I could think of was a hog just fixing to eat me up. And I was debating whether or not to try to open my eyes, grab my shotgun, take a shot, try to save my life or whatever. But I slowly opened my eyes. I cracked them, and I thought for sure it was going to be a hog staring at me. And it was a doe. Brown eyes about that big, just gorgeous. She nibbled on my shoe. She didn't know what I was. She'd nibble at my shoe and look at me. Them ears would flop. She'd nibble at my shoe and look at me again. And what seemed like forever, we just sat there looking at each other. And then she just hold her head up, turned, walked off into the woods. And I told that to my buddies there. And said, why didn't you shoot her? I said, there ain't no way. I couldn't have shot that deer. That deer was not bothering anything. Yeah, but you come over here and hunt meat. I said, well, I can get meat. But there was no way. I could not ruin that picture that I had in my mind of that deer. The interaction that we had there on that beautiful day. And then shoot it. That wasn't going to happen. And I, to this day, still glad that I didn't. Because I have the memory. The pleasant memory. I tried to kill a squirrel once, so I tell you that. I was hunting up on a mountain here close to the house, or close to town where I live. It's up on a Signal Mountain. The paper stand, and I was up in the tree. Didn't have a tree stand, just up in the fork of a tree. And there's a big old red squirrel. That dude was as big as a rabbit. It ran up a tree and looked at me and then sat there with its tail going, and it was going, it was telling everybody, every animal in the woods, that I was there and where I was. And loud. I listened to it for a while. There's another nice one. And I said, well, okay, if that's the way you want to be. So I knocked an arrow in my bow and took a shot at it and stuck the arrow in a tree just below it. And it ran out on that arrow and stood there. Just louder and faster. And I think it was giving me down the road then. But it was funny. I don't remember which one it said that I lost the fish off of while I was fighting them, but I'll just set them off. I've also been up a tree stand and swifts come diving through the tree. You wonder how in the world they don't hit you. Just, I don't know, we're talking about like this far in front of your face, just diving down through there. And they are fast. Man, they're fast. That's okay. Strike done too early. That's all right. We'll overlook it this time. And probably next time. My buddy Mizzou Van Mike is the one that told me I need to come down here. Because I was farming a sturgeon, and he said, yeah, you need to come down here. Because he asked me, he said, is there a place we can stand on land and fish for catfish with bottom rods? And I said, I don't think so, Mike. It's a big waterway, and I don't think we can cast far enough. Well, he came down here, and Big Boy came down here, and they found this jut of land here on this long peninsula where you can stand and fish for your catfish from using bottom rods. I just watch the lights because I don't put the headphones on usually. But you're right, they do. My tinnitus probably wouldn't let me do that anyhow. If you're from the United States or anywhere around, do you have any idea what the 7-year locusts sound like when they hit the trees? That and constant. That's what I hear. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, we're going to have 2 on here. 1 and 3. Shift 3, 1. Uh-oh. And 4. Nope, it's divided. Shift 1, 3. Yep, got one on 4. Nope, it's still just nibbling. Shift 3, 1. Shift 1, 3. So I gotta talk, see what I'm doing. Yeah. Well, mine was from working in a local factory here, Little Debbie, McKee Baking. They make Little Debbie cakes. I was an electrician. I was all over the plant, and the machinery there is loud. And they taught us how to wear our, we call them dilly boppers, those cups over your ears, and how to put the earplugs in. I didn't listen, should have. And then I had a hearing test while I was there. And the nurse that did the hearing test just about ruptured my eardrum. She'd push a button when you could hear it. And she was turning the sound up, the frequency. And I didn't push a button. She turned it all the way up. And I went, holy crap, lady, what are you trying to do to me? I wanted to hit her. Oh, it hurt. Very high-pitched sound. Pardon my French. But oh, it made me so mad. And I don't know if what she did damaged it or me not paying any good enough attention to my ears. Now we got 1, 3, and 4. 1, 3, not 4 quit. Okay. Shift 3, 1. Shift 1, 3. I'm sorry, Dropper. I'm trying to concentrate on these fish. I can't look over at my chat. I'm sorry. I'll catch you up in a minute when I get these 2 fish in. Pretty nice one. I'll take it. Nice XP. Yes, I have to take it on. It must be something about the rules of the game. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah. Now, what I really have problem hearing is high-pitched sounds. Like Bernadette on Sheldon. I'd have to ask my wife, what'd she say? Or I'd have to turn closed captions on the TV where I could read them. I had, most of the time, didn't have any idea what she said, that high, squeaky voice. And there's a bird that lives in the trees just right outside of our kitchen on the other side of the deck that has a real high-pitched sound, and it drives my wife crazy. I can't hear it. Don't you hear that thing? No, dear, I can't hear it. Oh, me. No, dear, I can't hear it. That's like I took it when I was, let's see, I think I was in the 5th grade. I went to a hospital up in Holland, Michigan for them to operate on my eyes. They popped your eyeballs out and massaged the ciliary muscle. This eye here used to be inside behind my nose. I mean, that's how cross-eyed I was. But anyhow, they made that a lot better. But they gave me a test, and what they did was they'd have put the glasses on me, a red lens and a green lens, had a red dot and a green dot, and they'd move them like this, and I was supposed to tell them when they crossed. Well, I'm looking out of one eye or the other, so all I did was guess. And when the test was over, I looked at my mom, and I said, how'd I do? She said, you did okay. I said, did they ever really cross? She said, yes, several times. But she didn't say that they'd cross it any time that they did. I just guessing. Then there's a doctor at UCLA. His name is Dr. Steve Nusinowitz, was doing a research on this ocular albinism, this birth defect I have, and somehow found me and sent me a letter and wanted to know if I'd be interested in coming out there for doing a research study. And did I know anybody else that had eyes like? Well, I've got 2 older cousins whose eyes are worse than mine. I said, I sure do. So I had him get a hold of my 2 cousins, and all 3 of us met out there. Well, I have one down in Florida. He and I flew out there, and then I have another cousin who lives in California, so he drove down, and we went there. We were there for a week during all the studies, and when he put out his book, we were patient 1, 2, and 3 or whatever. But that chapter in the book that was devoted to us was called The 3 Blind Mice. I want to tell you something. Some of the stuff that they did, it hurt. They would take a device and hold your eyes open, and they shine a real bright light right down into your eye so they could map the macula and so on and so forth. And I'm telling you, it hurt. It was so bright it hurt. But, you know, when you're a guinea pig, you're a guinea pig. Or a guinea bob or whatever. And they paid for it, so, you know. Did I get it? Yep, I got it. To Littleton. They paid for the airfare, paid our motel bill, and give us a stipend for food every day, which more than paid for what we ate. But to come back home, my wife was really upset with me, and she'd never been to California, and she was upset that I didn't take her with me. While I was out there, we went to Santa Monica Pier, which was pretty cool. I forget the band. There was a band out there on the Friday night before we left on Saturday that was performing. Big name band. Not as big as the Beach Boys, but something like that. And we'd walk out on Pier, we could listen to them. And then one day we went, I don't know if you remember all the Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello movies, Beach Blanket Bingo and all those, and all that restaurant they ran into all the time when they start raining or they come up off the beach. And that restaurant's still there. And I went there and ate. Oops. Missed that one. And that was pretty cool, where they filmed those movies. I thought that was really neat. Drove down the coastal highway ways. But there's part of the town there that they just literally shut it down. They have big steel poles like this big around, like 4 feet tall, just stuck down into the road where you can't drive this way. You can drive this way, every other street, but you can't drive this way. And it's pedestrians shop there. Just walk and shop. It's pretty neat. I rented a fishing rig and bought some bait and went fishing off the Santa Monica Pier. Didn't catch anything, but it was still neat to fish off of it. Beach Boys song, and Jan and Dean's song, and Chuck and Dave song just, while I was standing out there fishing, just running through my mind. It's pretty cool. That's the music I grew up with. Cause I wish they all could be California girls. Yeah. Not really. Come on, fish, get tired. This is another good fish. Guess I'm going to let the rest of them go. Do 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 do. I've been a lot of places in my life, all over the United States, Hawaii, Alaska. My wife and I took a vacation, went to Jamaica 37 years ago. We've been married 10 years when we went there. And of all the places I've been, that's the one place I would like to go back. Not now, the way things are. They're in pretty bad shape because of all the hurricanes and everything. But I would like to go back to Jamaica someday. That was pretty cool. We were there a little over a week, stayed in a resort called Couples. And one day we hired a guide and a van and went up with two other couples and went up through the rainforest. That was pretty cool. But we rode all over the island. Never saw one person bumming. Hey man, give me some change. Any spare change? Not one. They all had something to sell. A comb, a necklace, a bracelet made out of seashells. Take my picture, man. They had something. They didn't want to bum. They want to give you something for your money. When we were up in the rainforest, we stopped on the side of the road, and these guys were sitting there eating coconut, fresh coconut. And one of them said, you want a coconut, man? I said, yeah, that'd be cool. I thought he was going to hand me coconut. There's a coconut tree that probably 4 feet in diameter. Yeah, a huge tree at the base. And it went like this. He ran up that tree until he got almost to the top, and then he put his hands around the back and like a monkey shinnied on up that tree. Just never slowed down. It was so cool. Reached up there with his big old machete and chopped down a couple of coconuts. They hit the ground and come down. He opened them up, handed it. We drank the milk. I ate the coconut. I gave him $20. You'd have thought I gave him $1 million. He says, too much, too much. I said, no, man, you risk your life going up there to give me a coconut. It's worth $20. He thought that was pretty cool. But man, the way he ran up that tree, it was nothing. The way you and I run up some stairs, it was nothing. And everything in Jamaica is no problem, man. No problem, man. We come out of the resort one day and headed down the highway. Hadn't gone very far, and there was a little cardboard shack nailed up against a palm tree. And on the sign on it said, Bob's No Problem Headquarters. And it's just a cardboard box, maybe 6 by 6, just cardboard nailed up. And we stopped and was talking to him, took the guy's picture, and everything was cool. Gave him $5 for letting us take his picture. I said, hey, let me ask you a question. He said, sure, man. I said, my name's Bob, too. He said, oh, that's wonderful. I said, look, I live in the United States. Could I franchise Bob's No Problem Headquarters in my state? He said, hey, no problem, man. You go right ahead. So I was going to get a franchise of Bob's No Problem headquarters in Tennessee. This is another nice fish. If I can keep catching like this, I'll level up for too long. If I can get it in. Got to get it in though first, don't I? And I hope y'all can get down here and enjoy this. I like catching little fish. I like catching big fish. It doesn't matter to me. Sometimes out in California, I like to get a little jig winter rig with 4-pound test line or something like that, and go out on the boat dock. The boat's on your right. Go to the left, right down the corner, and fish right down in the corner of that tee with a number 16 hook and corn or peas and a little slim float or sport bobber, 8 or 10-inch leader, whatever the shortest it'll let me get it. And you can watch the fish come out from underneath the dock or out of the reeds and swim over there and smell it and bite it and run, or bite it and take off. It's just so cool to watch them. Just fun. Another way to have fun. It's like when I take my boat and do wheelies and see how far up into the trees and the reeds and everything I can make it go. Just another way to have fun. Come on. You're mine. There you go. Here we go. Thank you very much. A new personal best. Yeah. All right. Nice one. Look at that. 14,000. See, that's catch a few more like that and I'll be leveled up, won't I? Or, oops. Look there. Net's full. Didn't expect that. Okay, what's the weather like? Sunny. Okay, we'll start off the next morning. Yeah. The XP's insane, isn't it? Hold on just a minute here. Somebody's in the developer Skype. See what they got going on. It is in this just general chat. What we got here? Let me give VP that information. Well, there's a lot of red lines in there. Where? WHER. TWGT. There you go. Okay, next morning. Okay. What time am it? Ooh, it's 11 o'clock. So I'm retired, and I'm on the security team at church, but I haven't been to church in 7 months. And I still couldn't notice that I have a meeting today at whatever time. Hey, I don't go to meetings. My security position is the parking lot is mine. I greet people when they come on the parking lot, and I watch them as they leave. I know just about every car that, and we've only got about between 250 and 300 cars that come in there on a Sunday morning, and I know just about every one of them. So when a strange car shows up, I keep an eye on it just to make sure that nothing toward is going to happen. So, look at that. I almost got as much XP as I did money. One day, you'll like this. I'm sitting there. There's also another entrance further down from the main entrance that goes around behind the church to a locked gate secure area where the pastor, the minister of music, and those people park and come in the back of the church. So I'm watching, and I see this beat up old white van turn off the road and start going that way. Well, I know there's no reason for a vehicle like that to be headed back there. So I called Marty, the head of our security, and said, Marty, there's an old beat up white van headed around towards the back of the church. And he said, we got it, Bob. So he and 6 of the other guys, and they're all armed, okay? They go heading back there, and this little there is a Mexican or Hispanic congregation that rents an area of our church called the Hub, and they have their church services there on Sunday. Well, they cook every Sunday. Well, this little Mexican lady was unloading food to take into the kitchen back. I couldn't see because it was on the other side of the Hub. To unload, to take in the kitchen to heat it up, and these guys converge on her, and they said they thought she was going to have a heart attack. These 6 guys with guns come charging around her to see what's going on, and she said, well, we got a report of an older, beat up white van, and she said, it's all I had to carry all this food in, but I'm telling you, she told me she will never drive it again to church there. Poor lady. I'm sure they about gave her a heart attack. But I just doing my job. Had a guy one day come through there, a nice guy. I've known him a bunch of years. Man, it was hot. It was hot. I've got one of them big beach umbrellas and a rod stand that I put out there where I can get in the shade beside my pickup truck. And I've got my dash cam, so I record everything that comes and goes in the front of the church in the parking lot. And he come by, hey Bob, how's it going? I said, man, it's hot. And he said, yeah, here, have a bottle of water, good and cold. I said, well, thank you very much. He handed it to me, drove on. I didn't think nothing about it. And the label felt like it was, trying to come off. There again, think nothing about it. Put down in the truck, and I already had a bottle of water, so I was drinking mine. That afternoon, when I got home, I was going to get that bottle of water out of there and put it in the refrigerator, keep it cold. There was a $50 bill with a rubber band around it on that bottle of water. He'd give me a $50 bill. Shift 1, 2. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Oh, this is a little one. We're going to let it back down. We'll stay with this one. Okay, shift 1. We'll get this number 2 in now. Don't you dare Get off, number one. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. That one broke even. That one's worth as much as my bait. That one broke even. I guess that's better than losing, isn't it? Yeah, the XP here. Dropper, did you participate in the 4th of July event? Was it last year? Either last year or year before, when you could catch the historic muskie that had that unreal amount of XP. I learned how to catch them dudes, and I think I was like level 36 or 38 or somewhere around there. I leveled up 5 or 6 ranks, levels, catching those uni muskies. Historic, not uni, historic muskies. We're talking about the same thing. 8,000, 10,000 XPs. It was unreal. And there was a lady from Texas. Her and her friend were goat farmers. What was her name? What was her name? Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday. And she taught me how to go out the spillway and around to the left there on St. Croix. And there's an area there where you could catch the historic muskie. Just bam, bam, bam. It was just insane, the amount of XP. But it was fun. See, that's my boat over there that we're looking at. Yeah, but it'll come back around again. It'll come back around again. And then if you started again last year, then you did the St. Patty's event where you catch the rowdy bass and the leprechaun bass, the leps and the rowdies. A buddy of mine, 2 buddies of mine, figured out how we could kind of mess with the game. We go to Missouri. When you spawn in and turn around, you walk over to that medallion, touch it with your rod, and it gives you 20 or 25 grasshoppers. Well, with each woolly grasshopper, you catch 1 rowdy bass or leprechaun fish, that bass. And then it gives you the opportunity to buy, was it 500 more? I think it's 500 more for 200 bait coins. Well, with each grasshopper, okay, with each grasshopper you catch 1 rowdy bass or a leprechaun bass. But you didn't get any money, you got a bait coin. Okay, so we take the 200 bait coins, by 500 bully grasshoppers, and then we go to Blue Crab Island, and out there where you farm, if you put the bully grasshoppers out there, you catch them rowdy bass and leadfish, just bam, 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 bam. So I started out with somewhere around 1,200 bait coins, and we did this for 7 or 8 days or 6 days once we figured it out. And when the event was over, I had 2,800 bait coins. Worked pretty good. But it's just like that old song. You had to prime the pump. You got to faith and believe. You got to give unto yourself, for you're worthy to receive. So we were spending 200 bait coins to get 500 pieces of bait, so we catch 500 fish, get 500 bait coins. Then we go back and spend 200 more. We lost money on that one. Spend 200 more bait coins to get 500 more and go fishing again. Sure does look like my lines are headed the wrong way, doesn't it? Two of them rods. You know what? The current is moving those lines. Do you believe that? I believe it's happening. I really do. There's no reason for those lines to be pointed that much of an angle to my left when I'm casting out to my right. But the current's moving the other way. And number 2 is the same way. Yeah, I don't care. And I got an 8-ounce sinker on here. There's no way that current should carry an 8-ounce sinker other than where I put it. Let me walk around here and look at this. And see, those lines are out there where they ought to be, but that number 4 is already starting to go back that way. You know where you want to fish, so your bait's got to stay where the fish be, or you don't catch fish. That's just a fact of the game. Don't spend your coins on unlimited license unless you spend them on the cheaper lakes. Save your coins for advancing time or those special lures that the only way you can get them is with bait coins. Like the yellow frog popper or the red frog popper, and I don't remember if the pink frog popper takes just bait coins or not. I don't remember. Uh-oh, we froze up. Well, piddle tiddle. Yeah, close the program. Not cool, not cool. Not cool, not cool. Poodle-toodle-doodle, shame on you, program. It's like here, unlimited license here is like 2,000 coins. No way do I buy that. But I would spend the 50 for Texas. So if you ever flat broke, I mean just flat broke money, you can go back to Texas. Always keep one of those little casting spoons, the silver and or the gold one, and you can always go back here and catch spotted bass. Uh-oh, this is not good. That's a server problem. Don't time out on me. I want to fish. That's a server problem. Hey, Nonya. That means the server's down. I guess we're probably done for tonight. Well, I guess I'm not going to get to level up. Let me try one more time and see what I can do here. I know you viewers think this is absolutely exciting, but I'm trying. MySQL developer server down. Try again. Well, come on, go on over. Don't time out on me. Go on over. Load up, load up. Okay, Dropper. You take care, buddy. Enjoyed the conversation. Here we go. Here we go. We're back in business now. If I'm back on the island. In the middle of an island, in the middle of an ocean. You and me forever, darling. Walking barefoot in the sand, in the sand. Doodle 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 doo doo. Well, I'm here. But I got no rod stand. So, let me try to put my rod stand over here a little bit more stable place. What do you think? Now I gotta do all this mess again with this stuff here. Okay, here we go. As high as it'll go. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Let's try this again. Once more into the breach. Whoa! That was a good guess, wasn't it? All my clips were gone. My clips. Well, we got back up. Hey, Reagan, what are you doing up? Hey, Paul. We're down here trying to catch some fish. Come on, get down there. That won't let me. Oh, I haven't cast it out yet. I was trying to put that rod on the stand so I could pick this other one up. Good night, lady. Sleep well. You too. You too. Okay? Tell your dad I said good night too. Y'all sleep well. Sweet dreams. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Y'all that just joined, we're down in Bolivia. And my buddy Big Boy and Mizzou fan Mike Gaming found this spot where we could fish from the shore for fish like that. £160. And if you see the XP on these fish, it is, well, I thought I marked that one. That's good enough. Is that 3? Yep. The XP is just insane. I had one a while ago, I had 17,000 or $16,000, 17,000 XP, big catfish. And they're here. Morning, evening, night, they're here. I don't know who Mr. Twin is. We've got a bunch of people here now, though. That's great. Is room full? Let's see what we got here. 2, 4, 6, 8. And I make 9. Oops, I see it now. Yeah. It scrolls down. I'll tell you what, big boy. I'll bring mine in. And I'll if you're in a, okay, hold on. I'll go into a friends only room. But it threw me in this room when the game started over. Take me just a minute to get it all in. That gentleman right there, Big Daddy, is one of the game masters in the game now, as of Monday 2 weeks ago. Nice guy. He's the one that invited, or asked permission, then invited me to join the testers. But he is a very knowledgeable man about this game. Don't want to rent a room. Okay. I'm in a new friends only room, big boy. Probably you and me gonna be the only ones in there. Wouldn't that be a shame? We can fight for the fish, can't we? My rod stand gone again. Okay. Get over here and put it down and raise it up. We gotta put it down first on it, yeah. Okay. That's good places, any, I reckon. Okay, big boy, I'm here waiting on you now. At least I didn't lose my clips. Come on, 3. Got a fish on 2. Might as well bring it in, huh? Ah, shame on me. Thought I had a fish on. That's what I get for thinking. That's what I get for thinking. Like I said, y'all see where I'm aiming. A little fish, a little fish, a little fish. Hope it's worth more than $260. That way I don't lose money. There you go. Thank you. I'm saving some big ones for you, big boy. See, I lost money on that one. Still got the XP though. Think positive, young man. Think positive. Think positive. I say this quite often, viewers and chatters. I appreciate y'all spending the time with me. Like I said more than once, the most valuable thing you have is time. Because when it's over, it's over. You can't buy any more. You can't trade for any more. You can't beg for any more. When it's over, it's over. I'm getting worse at picking up the rod too soon. So that's hard to see there. Can't see the spring rings, spring arms. Here we go. So thank you for spending your time, the most valuable thing that you have, with me. Just spend as much time as you can with your family. My wife's mother died Friday week ago, and I'd been telling her to go visit her more and more, and she did. And as a matter of fact, she went Friday afternoon to visit her, and sometime during the night Friday is when she died. She got a call Saturday morning, and I told her, I said, aren't you glad you went and saw her? Now, she had real bad dementia, so she didn't know what was going on. But my wife knew, she went and saw her. That was the last time she got to see her mother alive. And I'm glad she went. She was too. You never know. You just never know. I need to get a few more of these big fish in where I can level up, where I can go to bed. It's time for this old man to go to bed. I used to say, drizzle, drazzle, druzzle, dread. Time for this one to go to bed. If you don't remember Sherman and Peabody. A cartoon from a long time ago. They were on the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. And they would go places in history in their Wayback Machine. And when it was time to go back, Mr. Peabody would say, drizzle, 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 drone. Time for this one to go home. And they would spin around in circles and come back to the present. But anyhow, I appreciate your time. Spend as much of it as you can with your loved ones. And every day, tell them, let them know that you love them. Excuse me, I gotta blow my nose. Sorry. Here we go. Come on, fish. Come on, fish. Come on, fish. Come on, fish. Big boy, I think we need more people here fishing with us so they be chumming out there, all that extra bait. That's what bring the fish around. There you go. Oh, you lost money? No, if you're using minnows, you didn't lose money. Tell you what I can do. I can throw this one, this one. I can throw a minnow out there. Let's see. We'll put a 4/0 hook on there. And probably need a leader. That's underlined, dummy. 57, 57. That's 57. Interesting. So I can put a 55-pound leader on there. Titanium leader. And for bait, we want a large minnow. There we go. Got a heavy waggler. Look at that. Got 215 inches. How long is 215 inches? How many feet? 17.18 feet. And the lake is, in a deep hole, is 19.9 feet deep. And you can cast this dude a mile. Look at there. I'm going to go out there 150 feet or better. And it wouldn't hardly. Now, this is what you're going to like. I want you to watch this zoom. Zoom. Is that not awesome? Now I got to put my headphones on now where I can hear the ding, hear the rods and the float. I didn't have to wait long on that, did I? Little fish, little fish, little fish. I try to put a small hook on there. But that's one more fish than I had before I cast it out there. Is that a croaker? Yeah, croaker. Let's put a bigger hook on that. Let's put a 7 on there. If I got a 7, yeah, let's put a 7 on it. See, look where them lines are. They're back out this. That's right. That's where they are supposed to be. Duh. Duh. No duh. Zoom. That current's still kind of bad, isn't it? Now here's something I haven't figured out yet. You saw that was 215 inches? I think that's what it was. Watch when I put this other bobber on there. $117. I lost 100 inches of leader by changing bobbers. Not only that, this don't cast as far. But it'll still run away with the... excuse me. Okay, I hear you. Or heard you. Only got 156 pounds of fish. Working on 2 hours. That's not too good, is it? So that morning where that peak is rounded off like this is not too good. Let's bring this in. Let's go find us see what the night peak looks like. After I bring these other fish in. Which one is it? 4. So I can fight this fish up here now. Put my headset on, I can hear the alarm on this rod stand. This is the only fishing game in the world, or the only fishing way in the world. When you get closer to a fish, walk towards it or put your rod towards it, it gets further away. Tick, 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 tick. Get tarred, fish. Get tarred. Thank you. Momentarily, anywho. That's just like those guys on the boats, wicked tuna. When them fish get tired, man, they reel and reel just as fast as they can, and all of a sudden, it'll go again. It was just getting a second wind. That's something I never fished for, was tuna. I like to go out in the Gulf and fish for bonita or grouper. Grouper, ooh. Grouper used to be my favorite fish until I discovered halibut. Oh, halibut is a sweet, white, delicious fish meat. I don't know if I'm gonna make it in order to level. You finally wake back up, Mike? I thought I was gonna stay awake till I leveled up, but I'm getting tired. I'm getting close, but I'm getting tired. Z and Night, they done called it a night. I keep catching these big fish that don't want to come in. I don't know why. uh, there you go, big boy. Way to go. Yeller's yeller. I don't care what kind of fish it is. Crappie, black crappie, white crappie, bullnose, it don't matter. Yellow is yellow. It's still a good fish. Y'all hear me tapping my right mouse button? I'm cheating. It's legal though, but I'm cheating. And the fish is cheating me right back. Am I going to get it? Am I going to get it? Am I going to get it? Oh, getting so close. There we go. We got it. There you go. Love it, love it, love it. Nice XP. Are you coming fishing, Mike? Big boy and I are in the room here by ourselves. You're not here yet. Now that's a slippy yawn. Excuse me. That's not a brain need more oxygen yawn. Y'all, I'm sorry. I ain't gonna make it. Thank you for your time. I do appreciate y'all very much. Big boy, I'm going to bed. Mikey, I'm hitting the hay. Remember, please remember, we will get through this together by the grace of God, okay? Learn a little bit, pass it on. That's the fisherman's way. We're going to bring this last fish in, then I'm going to call it a night. So God bless y'all. God bless you and your families. take care. Take care of your family. Take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Stay well. Stay safe. Bring you to the rods so I don't catch another fish. One at a time. Good night to you, Mikey. When I get this fish in, I'm done. So I'm winding her up. It was fun, and it was great, and it was great fun. Well, that's not the way it says. It says it was great and it was fun, but it wasn't great fun. Well, that's not true. Fishing with my buddies is always great fun. And sometimes we even catch fish. Mercy. Good night, Nonya. Catch you next time around, buddy. God bless you and your family. Take care. Stay healthy. Stay well. Stay away from that COVID-19 mess. Thank you, sir. Now, see, Mike done had him a nap, so he'll be up here at 3 o'clock in the morning. Come on in, fish. Let me go to bed. Let me go to bed. Let me go to bed. Come on. I need my beauty sleep. Or whatever you want to call it. As he said, you gone. Well, you're tired and I'm retired, so that works, don't it? This past August, I retired for 8 years. Some of the best years of my life, except for my health. Come on in, fish. Come on. Kommen Sie mit mir. Raus, raus, schnell, schnell. It's crazy fun now. I caught a new PB gilded, a new PB red tail. Pictures will be on the Steam. Z caught a 163-pound red tail. Awesome. Y'all were using large minnows, weren't you? I'm still using that huge cut bait. And I put a 9/0 hook on. Okay. So I've only got a pond license here till the 8th. I think it's the 8th. Is that right? 7 days, whatever it was. I'll look again here in just a second. Come on, we got it now. What we got? Well, that's a good way to quit, isn't it? Look at there. Got 2 more of them would put me right out the door. But I ain't going to stay here that long. You like that? uh, nice one, big boy. Nice one. Okay. Good night, y'all. Thank you for watching. And God bless you. God bless you and your family. And I'll be back tomorrow, good Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. And so this is Double Talk 73 saying I'll catch y'all later. So good night. Take care. And I'll catch you later. Y'all come back now. You hear?